to era to era to era to era. Boom chicka pop, ba boom chicka pop, ba boom chicka pop, ba boom chicka pop, boom chicka pop, ba boom chicka pop. I think I feel a little freestyle going. Yes, this is the Popcorn Poppy, and I'm here because I watched a movie or three. Yes, there is a long list to go, but it's okay because it's time to throw down. Yes, we're going to be talking about, the dinosaurs and Charlize Theron out because she was in a sequel of a thing that you saw, but maybe you didn't. But it's all right, though. Maybe I'm stalling. Maybe it's recalling that I need to stop and just start the show. But maybe I don't because I work with a guy named Nino. The gabagool. Oh, there we go. I shared the link. So, welcome back to Popcorn Poppin' Live. How you guys doing? Did you have a very happy July 4th weekend? I know I did. Fireworks, barbecue, flies on said barbecue, flies on food. But guess what? The food was still very good. And Chuck Pellerito is invited to the cookout. Welcome back to Popcorn Poppin' Live. I am your host, the Popcorn Poppy. There's too much content in the world, and you can't be wasting your time, so let me waste my time for you by watching all that looks vaguely interesting and letting you know what's poppin' and what ain't. This past week's newest films are The Old Guard 2, Heads of States, and Jurassic World Rebirth. That'll be the big one tonight. That'll be the big one. And there's no new TV shows, but there were a couple TV shows I finished, like Squid Game and The Bear, which I told you guys how I felt about the beginning of those series. But we actually haven't talked about what I thought as a series as a whole. But don't worry, we'll get to all of that. And some news, of course. First things first, I just want to bring up the fact that all reviews and opinions are that of me, the Popcorn Poppy. All right? If you get really pissed off of any clips, make sure you watch the full video, which includes this message to you. I don't care if you think I'm a fucking idiot. The truth is, I went to school for this, for filmmaking, not film critique. And I didn't get my degree, but I do watch a lot of movies, and I do watch a lot of TV, and I stream a shit ton of stuff as well. So if you have a problem with my opinion, know that I'm fully aware that it is that of my opinion. And I do understand that real life situations can occur that are very similar to what you see on film, but I may say, hey, that wasn't entertaining. It's because it didn't entertain me. Doesn't mean it won't entertain you, the viewer, the audience members. Also know that thanks to the interweb sources like Deadline, THR, Variety, and others, we are able to have this show tonight. So shout out to them. Let's look at some news. Some sad news to start. Michael Madsen has passed away at the tender age of, I want to say he was like 64. Let me double check that. He's 67, still pretty young. So, RIP to Michael Madsen, who passed away at 67. You may remember him from such films as Thelma and Louise, The Getaway, Wyatt Earp, Species, Donnie Brasco, Grand Theft Auto 3, Die Another Day, and, of course, Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill. If you haven't seen Reservoir Dogs, you absolutely have to. You may be familiar with Tarantino's work, like Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill, and that's probably maybe all that you've seen unless you're a really good cinephile that likes some good shit besides Django Unchained as well. But he also made Reservoir Dogs his very first film. Excellent film that featured Mr. Blonde. Mr. Blonde was one of the coolest characters that you'll ever meet in cinema. Are you going to bark all day, little doggy? Or are you going to bite? Really fucking cool. He has a certain song that I can't really sing right now. For one, I don't know the lyrics. And for two, I don't know the lyrics. But it involved him, I'm so scared, I'm going to fall off my chair. And he cuts off an ear. Small little spoiler. But super dope scene, and look at how cool he was. He was a cool cat. He should have been more famous and had bigger roles, but I'm going to blame it on his agent. But Tarantino hooked him up with that, and years later, Kill Bill, he plays a small part in Volume 1, but he's in it a lot in Volume 2. I really want to watch Kill Bill right now. Anyways, speaking of this, Reservoir Dogs has Mr. Blonde with first name insert here, last name Vega. In Pulp Fiction, John Travolta's character was named Vincent Vega. Yes, these two were actually brothers. And Quentin Tarantino was going to make a little movie about them. To quote him, the only thing I did know was the premise. I don't think I took it far enough for a story, but I had a premise. It would have taken place in Amsterdam during the time Vincent was in Amsterdam, okay? He was running some club for Marcellus Wallace in Amsterdam. He was probably there for a couple of years. So at some point during his 2-year stay in Amsterdam running some club, Vic shows up to visit him, and it would have been their weekend, all right? Exactly what happened to them or what trouble they got into, I never took it that far. End quote. That's my Quentin Tarantino. I think I did okay. Anyways, I would have loved to see that movie, and you should go see the originals like Reservoir Dogs. You can check out on Paramount Plus if you want to remember Michael Madsen, or if you're interested, you can watch Pulp Fiction on Tubi or Paramount Plus. But definitely check out Reservoir Dogs on Paramount Plus or The Kill Bills on AMC Plus. Shout out Michael Madsen. Rest in peace. On a lighter side, sequel news. We have Crimson Tide, which might have a sequel in the works, according to Jerry Bruckheimer. If you haven't seen Crimson Tide, it stars Denzel Washington and the late Gene Hackman on a U.S. nuclear missile sub. A young first officer stages a mutiny to prevent his trigger-happy captain from launching his missiles before confirming his orders to do so. Really great film. It was directed by Tony Scott, and this is what Bruckheimer had to say about the sequel. We have a really good writer-director talking to the Navy right now about what's going on underwater. We have Denzel Washington. If we give him a good script, I think he'll do it. We had, and I did not know this, Quentin Tarantino, Robert Towne, writing on that film. I don't know if I'll ever replicate that type of writing on a film. Never known that Quentin Tarantino had script contributions, which included Hunter calling himself Captain Kirk, and referencing submarine films like The Enemy Below and Run, Silent, Run Deep, and a few other things like talking about Silver Surfer, which all these sound like Tarantino-isms. I don't remember Crimson Tide that well, but I remember being a great film, and I also remember never thinking this movie needs a sequel. I think there's some things that you don't need to touch. I feel like Gene Hackman dying made someone say, hey, we should make a sequel to Crimson Tide. I really don't think that that's needed at all, but I would definitely recommend checking out Crimson Tide. You can either rent it or check it out on MGM Plus. Great film. Neil Druckmann, the creator, runner of the Last of Us video game, also works on Last of Us, or should I say worked, past tense, on Last of Us. He's going to be leaving the Season 3 creative team. Now is the right time for me to transition from my complete focus to Naughty Dog and its future projects, including writing and directing our exciting next game, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, along with my responsibilities as studio head and head of creative. Last of Us, you can check out on HBO Max, and the Heretic Project is a new video game by Naughty Dog, which is due in 2027, for now, anyways. And you can check out the trailer online too. It looks pretty fun. It looks like it's got a good cast of characters. I would be nervous about him leaving the creative team, but we only have one season left until we figure out as well if they're going to make Last of Us 3, which I believe he said he has kind of an idea for, but he isn't fully greenlit that they're going to make a Last of Us Part 3. And by Part 3, I mean the video game. Because remember, Last of Us Season 3 is the second half of Game 2, which means after that, we got to wait for another video game if they're going to make another season. This past season hasn't been as well liked by regular audience members of the first season, for specifically the lack of Pedro Pascal's character and the more of getting Bella Ramsey. But I'm telling y'all, it is still excellently made. It's not as good as the first season, just like how the second game wasn't as good as the first season. But they are being very faithful to the games. So that's why I'm bummed that he's leaving. Having said that, we don't really need him as much because Season 3 will be focusing more on the redheaded character. I can't remember her name right now. Not Abby. What is her name? I can't remember. Let me know in the comments because I forgot. But it'll be focusing more on a different character that we're not that familiar with. So we can still be close to the game and we can still have some creative flexing. It just sucks that Neil Druckmann isn't going to be there. But you can check out the video game on PlayStation 5 or 4 or 3. No, 4, 5, whatever. Check out the video game. It's super fun, especially if you can't wait until season 3 of the show. But you can catch up on the show right now on HBO Max. According to Craig Robinson, he is quitting comedy. In his first video, where post-office career includes roles on Cleveland Brown Show and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, he says, "Just wanted you to hear it from me. I am quitting comedy, but not for nothing. It's been an amazing run, and y'all been amazing and wonderful. But I'm following something bigger. So thank you so much. I love you, and stay tuned." You can check out him on his own show called Killing It, which has that really hilarious girl from the show Love. Excellent actress. I haven't checked out the show yet, but I actually hear good things. But he's also famously Daryl on The Office. Or you can check him out in This Is the End as well. But Killing It in The Office, you can check out on Peacock. I think this could be a joke. The dude's been in comedy forever. And it's a weird announcement to say, "I'm quitting comedy. Stay tuned. Why?" It sounds to me like when Snoop Dogg said he was quitting the smoke, and then it ended up being for like a fucking grill or like a smokeless grill or something. And everyone was like, "He's quitting smoking." So this sounds like that to me. I might be wrong. I don't really follow Craig Robinson a lot these days. I haven't heard from much of him besides the show Killing It. So maybe he's not killing it well enough and he's quitting comedy for something bigger. But it sounds like a business that he wants to do with his friends. But that business could be owning a comedy nightclub. It could be a variety of things. In any case, The Office is on Peacock if you want to see more of Daryl. David Dasmalkachian, Polka Dot from The Suicide Squad. We've seen him quite a bit. He was on that like Late Night with the Devil movie. He's been doing pretty well with his career lately, even though he's been acting forever. Excellent actor. He lands the role of villain M. Bison in legendary Street Fighter, which I got from Deadline. I don't play Street Fighter, but we are rounding a cast, which includes 50 Cent and Andrew Schultz in it as well. We'll see how it goes. I mean, so I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you that, at least I told you that I didn't think Megan 2.0 looked very good because it looked way too different from the first one. And it looks like they put a lot of eggs in a certain basket that shouldn't have had a basket. I'm not saying that Megan 1.0 definitely didn't need a sequel, but I was okay with the sequel. When it comes to a fun horror movie like that, of course they're going to make a sequel where she plays the villain again. But if you saw the trailer, they went a completely different direction, and that really reflected on the box office for Megan 2.0. It was a complete bomb. I don't like looking up numbers. I already deal with numbers every day at my day job. I don't want to deal with it in my night service. I wouldn't call this a job. I am servicing you with my mouth and words, not with my mouth like that, you weirdo. Anyways, this is what Jason Blum had to say about Megan 2.0. If you don't know who Jason Blum is, he is the head of Blumhouse Films. They made a bunch of movies. I don't have a list here. But one of them was Megan, and the other one was Megan 2.0. He says, "We all thought Megan was like Superman. We could do anything to her. We could change genres." Looked like they were trying to do that. "We could put her in the summer. We can make her look different. We could turn her from a bad guy into a good guy." And we kind of classically overthought how powerful people's engagement was really with her. And on the first Megan, the director had all the time in the world. I don't think we even had a release date until the movie got finished. And on this, again, we've gone over our skis too far. Summer movie, change the genre, set the date. We got too excited by Megan, and she didn't work. No shit. So the point is, I was right. Watch me more. The Popcorn Poppy knows what he's talking about sometimes. You may disagree with some reviews later on, but I was right in assuming that this movie didn't look that good. I was wrong when I think I said on the show that this movie is probably going to make $1 gajillion, and it bombed. So I think a lot of people were thinking what I was thinking. What are they doing with this character is probably their thoughts exactly. So you can check out Megan 2.0 in theaters right now, or you can check out one on Stars. Some renewals include Tires, which is going to be renewed for season 3. Whoops. I mean, look at Megan. Look at Megan. What are we doing? We thought this was going to make $1 gajillion. When I saw this part, honestly, the whole trailer, I'm like, this looks bad. But when I saw this, I was like, this looks fucking dumb. So I don't think we're going to get Megan 3.0. I don't know if there was an end credit scene or something that seems to set up that as such, but I don't think it's going to happen. New shows that are returning for new seasons include Tires, which is renewed for season 3, and The Bear, renewed for season 5. I know I'm rolling my eyes, and I know it seems like I'm very negative about this show, but we'll get more into that later. Almost right now would have been an actual excellent segue to do it right now. Instead, we're going to go over the limelight shows of really no new shows. The only new show that came out, I'll bring up later, but shows that have been out for a couple weeks I finally caught up on. Squid Game Season 3. So basically, Season 1 is its own self-contained story where we go through all the games and our hero decides to go back to try to stop them by submitting to another game. Seasons 2 and 3 are basically Season 2 split up in two halves because we have the first few games in the second season and the remaining games in the third season, all following our hero trying to do what's right, at least in the second season. So was this season overall poppin'? Last week I had told you guys that I wasn't too into the show because of the story. They're getting rid of my favorite characters too fast, and I wanted fun, and the show wasn't really fun for me anymore. Then I finished the show, and I'm going to tell you right now, the show is popping. I dug that final season, if you want to call it the final season. And I don't want to spoil too much, but I'm sure you've heard some things about an American remake that made by David Fincher, which I don't think is going to happen. But there is supposed to be an American remake. And that's really all we officially know, is that Netflix wants to make an American adaptation of this show. But let's talk about the final season of the Korean original. Overall poppin'. The pros are that the remaining games are very cool. I don't want to spoil them, but when I saw the jump rope one, super sick, I got very hype. I also like the metaphor of how social classes and society bases many humans down to animals that look out for themselves, and how what appears to be specifically Americans in the hats and being like, oh, a baby. Well, maybe the baby will die next, and then I'll have better chances of making my money. They all sound like that. Exactly like that. No, they sound worse. They sound way more annoying. It makes me hate being an American because they suck in the show, of course. Anyways, they revel in witnessing the society crumbling before them for their own financial gain. And it was cool how we saw that reflect in the series because, you know, metaphors and blah, blah, blah. But the cons are that the humans that choose to be humans are likable, fun, and full of heart are taken out first. And I reported that last time. Sure, we knew that the Squid Games had to result in most players dying and we'd eventually lose everyone interesting, but they sort of jumped the shark on us losing the more interesting ones, especially because our protagonist is super depressing since the second season's finale when some guy died that the audience barely knew. I hated that cliffhanger. He is seriously like in a trance for the first couple episodes of this season. It's kind of annoying. But I also didn't like the fact that we barely see the front man since like season 2. He's literally only seen looking at screens and sipping whiskey 90% of season 3. It's very annoying. I did like the final scene of the series, especially with the random cameo and potential at a future specific series. I'm definitely down to see if another series can continue this, because 3 seasons of what we got, which was season 1 and 2 half seasons, doesn't seem like enough. I feel like the creator opened a door for a future Squid Game, maybe? Even though he claimed he didn't, and he ended the way he did because he wasn't sure how to make the show last. That's how I felt. When I found out that they were doing another season of Squid Game and they announced the release dates, they announced season 2 coming out this date, and season 3 and the final season coming out this date. I'm like, oh, you're ending it already? You weren't too confident that you were going to have more? I don't know. A lot of overseas series, though, they usually last like only 3 seasons. For instance, The Office was 2 seasons and a Christmas special, I believe, or 3 seasons and a Christmas special. There's a lot of like overseas TV That's only 3 seasons long. But this, you could have made this like 5 seasons and everyone would have watched it. Now, if you don't watch the show, watch the final scene because it is like interesting. Where are we going to go with this? We all have an idea of where that is, and I hope it happens. So again, it is Poppin'. It's probably my least favorite season. I even like season 2 more than season 3. It was just more fun. We had more fun characters. 3 is a little too serious, but it's okay. In fact, he had a different idea of how to end it. The creator did. Look up an interview with him. He goes really into his original intent for the series and why it ended up where it ended up and what the ending means to him and what he expects from Netflix. So check out Squid Game seasons 1 through 3 on Netflix right now. Another season of television that I finished was The Bear from Hulu. I know you've heard me talk a lot of shit about The Bear. Even though I think it's a fine show, I just hated last season. I hated it. I wasn't the biggest fan of the first season, to be honest, but I watched it and powered through because everyone raved about it. And I was like, yeah, I've worked in the food industry for a few months. It fucking sucks. And it replicated that very well, the first season. Replicated it so well that I didn't want to watch the series because everyone was miserable with good reason. I don't want to watch a show about people living in misery. I want to see a show about people striving for what their potential can come up with next. Season 2 really showcased that very well. Season 3 seemed like just a waiting game until the next season. And that's what we got with this one. We had people actually grow up, but it took a few episodes to go down that route. Because last week I told you guys that The Bear was still super boring and we're still dealing with the same shit. But literally the next episode that I watched after last week was awesome. So, poppin' or not, Season 4 is popping. Way better than Season 3. Just way better. Sydney finally makes a decision and people grow, which is nice, including Lip. I keep forgetting his name. I know it's Bear, but like he has a name in the show and I can't remember what it is. I always call him Lip. Jeremy Allen White's his real name. I cannot think. Anyways, still a lot of the same shit, but again, this season got better than last, which felt like pure filler bullshit. We got returning cameos and a few new faces as well, like, spoiler alert, Danielle Deadweiler, Rob Reiner, and Brie fucking Larson, who's actually very hilarious in the episode she's in. This season also featured some of the best episodes of the series, including episode 4 entitled Worms, which centered around Sydney, which is Ayo Edebiri, sorry for mispronouncing her name's character. She also co-wrote the show with Jacenzo Bravo. And also, bravo to that episode. One of those standalone episodes that we love, like the last one, that one last season featuring the flashback where she goes into the bear back when John Barenthal's character was alive. I am not the best reviewer because I'm not talking about character and motivation as much as I should. But the motivation of this show is for you to go fuck yourself. The other great episode of this season was episode 7, episode 7, Bears, the wedding episode. Most people that I ran into that watches the series has made it at least this far. It's episode 7 of the season. So people been binging the shit out of this show, but they agreed. Best episode of the season. Probably my favorite episode of the show in general, because we get the bears back. And the last time we saw this many bears, it didn't end out very well. It was a very tense situation. This one, it's a feel-good episode. It's a feel-good season. I'm not saying that you need to take out all the stressors, because don't worry, there are some stressful situations in this season, but they got a lot of heart and a lot of realization and a lot of self-reflection. And I dig that. I dig it. I dig it with my hands and my eyes. And I say poppin' all the times. You can check this out on Hulu. I recommend it, especially if you're in the food industry. And yes, you will be saying, yes, chef, a lot. Also wanted to mention that I am caught up with Smoke. And I told you guys that the first half of the episode was intriguing. I like the darkness of it. And if you don't remember what it's about, when an arson investigator begrudgingly teams up with a police detective, the race to stop 2 arsonists ignites a twisted game of secrets and suspicions. New episodes are on Apple TV Plus on Fridays. You can watch the first 3 episodes right now. And they reveal something at the end of episode 2, which is what I had suspected, because there's one of the starring characters in this show is very odd, very peculiar. And if you pay attention to the opening scene, you will know that it's a little hint at who at least one of the arsonists is. Taron Egerton is very good in this, a little odd and very good. And Journey Smollett is fantastic, very good, badass. And she does something fucking batshit crazy in one of the episodes. And I dig it. I am very excited to see where the show ends up. I think this will be a miniseries. I'd be shocked if this lasted more than a season. But I dig it. I think that this show is going to end with one of these two dying. And if enough people ask, they may make a season 2 starring one of these two characters. And I'd be down for that. Check it out on Apple TV Plus. And the only new show that came out this week that I thought was vaguely interesting to you guys that didn't involve docu-series or reality TV is The Sandman. Oh, damn. You know what I should have added to this? I started watching Love Island. I forgot to mention that. The Popcorn Poppy, who never talks about reality TV, started Love Island, and I fucking love it. And it ends, I think, a week from today. July. I think I might have a few more weeks left. If it ends next Sunday, which I'm pretty sure it does, I will 1000% talk about it next week. I love it. It's crazy that that it's aired every day except for Wednesdays. That's insane. Anyways, Sandman season 2, volume 1 is on Netflix right now. Yeah, I don't watch Sandman, so I can't tell you anything about it. Let's go ahead and talk about some other new movies that came out that I did not see that you might be interested in, including Dora and the Soul Dorado. This is something for you and your kids to watch if you'd like. Something I do not want to watch. This is streaming on Paramount Plus. I don't have to read the plot. It's a kids movie that involves Dora the Explorer, but you can check it out on Paramount Plus. In theaters, we have 40 Acres, speaking of Daniel Deadweiler, in a post-apocalyptic world with food scarcity. Let me know. A black family of Canadian farmers descended from American Civil War migrants defend their homestead against cannibals trying to seize their resources. It looks poppin'. I don't think I'll go to the theater to watch it, but it looks poppin'. You can check out the trailer on YouTube and this movie out in theaters right now. This is Spinal Tap returns to theaters. It's re-released. It's basically one of the first, if not the first, mockumentary that follows a heavy metal band going on tour. And they are making a part 2 that's coming out at the end of summer. So that's why they're re-releasing this in theaters right now. It co-stars Rob Reiner as a character, and he directed the first one. Same that's happening with the second. I'm very excited for this. Haven't seen it in a while. Right, the Spotlight Films. Spotlight Films. What do you think they is? I'll tell you what one of them are. Heads of State, starring Idris Elba and John motherfucking Cena. U.S. President Will Derringer, played by John Cena, and British Prime Minister Sam Clark, played by Idris Elba, have a not-so-friendly and very public rivalry. However, when Air Force One gets shot down over enemy territory, they find themselves on the run and working together to thwart a global conspiracy that threatens the entire free world. The stars, these two, and Priyanka Chopra Jonas and Patty Considine as the villain. Poppin' or not? Super poppin'. So damn good. The best new movie to come out this week. Better than Jurassic Park, Rebirth, World Rebirth, whatever. An original movie. It's a buddy cop movie, but with a president and the prime minister that apparently know how to kick ass. John Cena's character plays a ex-movie star that is a badass on screen, but when it comes to real life danger, is he still a badass? Kinda. They start off hating each other, and then slowly they learn to work together. And it fucking works. These two were great together in The Suicide Squad, and they're great together in Heads of State. Chemistry sufficed by itself through the first 15-ish minutes. It was great. The chemistry of butting heads works, and they're very chummy. It's not like the best comedy that you'll see in those first 15 minutes, but it was enough for you to be like, I like this movie. But when the action scene started with Elba and Cena, I was hooked. Great action, very funny scenes, Great cinematography, fun editing. Paddy Considine is a great villain in this. You may remember him from House of Dragon or recently Mobland as well. Film-wise, he was just in that improv troupe movie. I gotta look it up real quick. Deep Cover. So Amazon Prime is really hooking them up lately. I would absolutely watch a sequel, which they absolutely should do. I watched the Breakfast Club interview that actually featured these two, and even though John Cena was just doing his job promoting Amazon Prime films, Idris Elba was right in saying that this one should have had a theatrical run. I would have loved to have been in a movie theater sharing this experience of watching this film with an auditorium filled with people, because you'd hear a lot of laughs and you'd hear a lot of ooh and just super fun stuff. Super fun stuff. Priyanka Chopra was really great in it too. This was directed by Isla Naishuler. Sorry, I'm mispronouncing your name, sir. Who did Hardcore Henry, Nobody, and both of which you can watch on Amazon Prime. But I want more of John Cena and Alba. I hope they make a sequel. I don't know why they would, but they absolutely should. I'm not sure what the streaming views were for this, but I loved this movie. You can check out this one on Amazon Prime, or you can see a rated R version of them too and others in The Suicide Squad, because you could watch on HBO Max right now. Next up, The Old Guard 2, which stars Charlize Theron and Kiki Lane. Is it Kiki Lane? Yes, Kiki Lane. About Andy, who leads immortal warriors against a powerful enemy threatening their group. They grapple with the resurfacing of a long-lost immortal, played by Uma motherfucking Thurman, the bride herself, complicating their mission to safeguard humanity. Poppin' or not, I can't tell you because I forgot to finish the movie today, but I did watch the first half of it. Guys, a lot of things came out this past week. Do not be mad at me. If you're mad at me, stop watching me. But if you're not mad at me and you want to at least hear what I have to say about the first half of the film, you might as well stay tuned. So I started Old Guard 2 yesterday, and I was like, it was July 4th weekend. So it was a lot of chilling, a lot of lounging near the pool. And yeah, I watched a lot of stuff, all right, including finishing 2 series and seeing a movie in theaters and Heads of State. So I was like, man, I don't even want to watch this. Not because I didn't want to watch Charlize Theron kicking ass and taking names, but because I was tired of watching movies and television. Guys, you're killing me. Popcorn Poppin is killing me. Let me out. Since you won't. I started the second movie and it opened up with a scene where I was like, I need to stop this. I need to rewatch 1. So the reason I'm still talking about this tonight, even though I didn't finish 2, is definitely rewatch the first one if you hadn't seen it in a while, because I forgot a lot of stuff. And they, through like not very worked on exposition, but definitely not drowning you in exposition, they'll quickly mention, like, you mean the person that awoken you when you were an immortal? Yes, the one at the bottom of the ocean. She's back. Like, there's stuff that are very fast in explaining what happened in the last film, but it will just do you a better service to just rewatch the first movie, which is awesome, by the way. This one, the first half, it's not anything spectacular. It is like they give you the information and you get some action scenes. This is based on a comic book series, and they bring the screenwriter back to write the first one. I actually don't remember if he wrote the second one, but we got a different director, and you can kind of tell because the action scenes and editing specifically are so quick, there's hardly any time to chill in between. Having said that, I dug what I watched, and I doubt the movie's going to get any worse in the second half. If it does, it'll be storyline, but we get the full cast of characters back that survived the first film. So check out The Old Guard 2 on Netflix, and you let me know if I even should finish it. I will. I'm just curious if you liked it. Check it out, both of them, on Netflix right now. And now we go over to, you know what, before we do that, let's take a little commercial break.
There you are. We were worried sick.
Do you know how long we were looking for you?
Every time you do this, you're gone longer and longer.
You're gone so much, we almost felt like giving up.
Listen, we love you, but if you keep this up...
If you go missing one more time, mister, I'll literally put you on a leash. Is that what
baby,
you want?
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Shut up. Is that what you want?
No.
I'm sorry?
No.
All right, then.
Listen, if you could just stay put where you are at all times, everything will be okay, all right? Okay. All right, good. I trust him.
I don't know.
Baby, let's just take a deep breath. Feel better?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now I think... Oh, damn it, he's gone again!
Now we won't be able to watch Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh, man. That... I'm sad. This is sad to me. I'm sad.
Take it off.
Okay.
Parents, always tether your remotes. That way they don't get lost in the couch and you don't miss out on Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is a public service announcement.
Don't lose your remote. Real quick, going to the comments real quick. Sorry I'm late, Jordan. I'll never forgive you, buddy. I like the old guard too. Good. I'm excited to finish it. And that damn remote. Put a leash on your remote, children. Put a leash on your remote. Moving on to the spotlight film of the week, Jurassic World Rebirth. 5 years post Jurassic World Dominion, an expedition braves isolated equatorial regions to extract DNA from 3 massive prehistoric creatures for a groundbreaking medical breakthrough. There's a lot more plot than that, just letting you know. So due to new environments for these prehistoric creatures, the dinosaurs are dying, and a pharmaceutical company thinks they can extract DNA from live, healthy dinosaurs in order to cure heart disease, essentially. Apparently, there's a never-before-seen island called Isle St. Hubert. This is where Engen, I think it's Engen. It's that pharmaceutical company from the other films. Took dinosaurs and mutated them into ones that we've never seen before. This stars ScarJo and Mahershala Ali. Written by David Koepp, who did Death Becomes Her, Carlito's Way, the first Spider-Man, the first Mission Impossible, and the first 2 Jurassic Parks, one in the Lost World. This is directed by Gareth Edwards, who did films like Monsters with Scoot McNairy, Godzilla with Bryan Cranston, Rogue One, and The Creator with John David Washington. So, I saw the trailer for this, and let's start with this. I watched the last Jurassic World, and I'm like, I'm done with dinosaurs. I'm done. I don't want to watch another one. I wasn't a big fan of the last one, and I rewatched it with the extended version, which you can watch on Peacock. And to be honest, I kind of dug it, but I was still like, no, I'm done with dinosaurs. I'm not going to like the next film. Then I heard that ScarJo was coming in, and I'm like, okay, how could I not watch this? I have to go watch this. Saw the trailer. Looked boring. I don't want to watch this movie. And then I watched it. So what did I think of these guys? Well, let's get Bucky in here. Bucky, I want you to let the people know what we think. Jurassic World Reboot. What? That's crazy. That's right. Didn't think it'd be popping. It surpassed my expectations. I must warn you, though, I have heard complaints about this movie, even though I say it's popping. Nick Marriott, shout out to Mr. Winchester, messaged me. I haven't talked to him in weeks, months, which, by the way, buddy, we got to have an actual conversation. Because after that, I was like, how you doing? He goes, good, you, good. Don't do that. We got to have a dialogue. Anyways, a lot of people have said they didn't like this movie. Here are the pros in my eyes. Since we're back at just an island, this felt much more magical, like the first in a way. The pacing and suspenseful battles with dinosaurs on land and by sea were pretty crazy to watch. They were huge, and especially the way when one of the dinosaurs is swimming and they try to like shoot these needles into them, which extract the blood and then parachutes it into the sky for them to catch later on. They have to do it to 3 dinosaurs. I love that we have an adventure film, not a crazy high octane thrill ride, which yes, that sounds more enticing than a fun little adventure. Jurassic World, if you like those movies, if you love those movies more than Jurassic Park, you're not going to like this movie that much. It's not very high octane by any means. There are suspenseful scenes, but even those aren't suspenseful for one little reason I'll get to in a second. But it's a majestic film in a way because you see the wonder of these dinosaurs. Sure, they're mutated dinosaurs, but they look cool nonetheless. And seeing it maybe in Dolby, but definitely seeing it in theaters, the grand scale of watching a person like ScarJo in the front of the boat try to shoot a shot at this whale-like dinosaur, seeing its massivity. I don't know if that's a word. Its hugeness, its humongousness was pretty cool. It's gargantuanism. That's a word. Gargantuanism. I don't know if gargantuanism is. That's one of the pros. The previous World trilogy had too much going on, specifically in Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. Even though I dug the extended version of Dominion, which you can check out on Peacock, I missed the simplicity of the first 3 films. Yes, even Jurassic Park 3. They tricked Sam Neill's character into going onto one of the 2 islands, and they crash, of course. And they're like, well, we tricked you because you've been on this island before. It's like, I've never been to this island before. So it was cool. And, you know, we have people that don't know what's going on with these dinosaurs. World didn't exactly ruin the franchise. Fallen Kingdom was not great, though, besides the volcano scene. But it made dinosaurs kind of like, oh, they're in the world. There's not, you know, we all wanted to see that, but I just didn't think Dominion really landed very well. But the simplicity of going to an island of magical creatures was more enticing to me than the high-octane thrill ride of all of them being all over the place. Dinosaurs are dying all around the world. It's rare to see a dinosaur anymore, especially in good health. Lo and behold, we find this island that we shoehorned into the series that hasn't been in the previous films, and it's pretty cool. I always found Gareth Edwards' previous films to be beautiful but boring, and this film had a lot more action but still kept its beauty, for sure. The B story following the father, 2 daughters, and boyfriend was really good. I didn't think the boyfriend was particularly funny, even though he's supposed to be like the comic relief, but I liked that even though he's a fucking dunce, he has heart and will sacrifice himself for the girlfriend. I thought it was risky to have a very different, separate B story, but that it still worked. So shout out to whoever's idea that was. The nerdy character's adrenaline junkiness made him a lot more interesting, because a lot of times in most of these films, there's a nerdy scientist that, I don't want to go, but I care about dinosaurs. This guy ain't no bitch. It's the guy in the middle. He ain't no bitch, okay? He is actually moving faster than some of the trained soldiers as well. Now, every great film has its cons. Do I call this film great? I'm going to call this film great, but I didn't say it was a large popcorn. Its cons include the human plotting was sort of not great. There's one scene where Mahershala Ali and ScarJo are catching up, and the exposition was thrown in there that her ex-partner died and he left his wife because she reminded him of their dead kid. And, oh, ScarJo missed her mom's funeral. It was silly. In one scene, we had all this happen. Yeah, sorry to hear about Brent, or whatever the fuck his name is. Oh, thanks. It was a real bummer when he passed away, but I had to tell his wife that wasn't easy. You know, this job's so hard. It's so difficult that I even missed my mom's funeral. That's crazy. Oh, tell me you're still with Loretta? Nah, I'm not with Loretta anymore. I couldn't bear to look into her eyes, because looking into her eyes reminded me of our dead son. Oh, yeah, I forgot he died. Kind of crazy how we're bringing up all these deaths in one scene, right? Yeah, real crazy. I quoted everything that happened in that scene. It wasn't like terrible, but it did make me go, okay, guys. Having said that, honestly, the acting's still very good. It's just the writing of that kind of exposition dialogue isn't very great, but we're not seeing it for exposition. The villain in this, played by Rupert Friend, I can't remember his name. He is very good in this. There's a scene where he has a gun and he's like, whoa, everyone calm down. I didn't let that girl fall to her death. No. They're like, well, why are you holding a gun right now? I'm just holding the gun because you guys are acting crazy. So look, why don't you put down the gun? Okay, cool. And he's never pointing it at them. He's staying friendly, but he's a little shit. Great villain. So yeah, the exposition scene's not that great, but the character acting is done pretty well. It's just nothing very special about the exposition or the story plotting of Jurassic World Rebirth. How are the dinosaurs? As majestic as they looked and as dangerous as they seemed, the dinosaurs were slow as fuck. It was just kind of stupid to watch people paddling away as fast as they can, but they're still going super duper slow against a giant T-Rex that's just sort of like it was ridiculous, but it was still kind of cool. I don't know. It was just kind of stupid to watch people paddling away slowly from a T-Rex that's sort of moseying its way over. It's not exactly thrilling to watch a calm T-Rex, but it was still sort of cool. I understand why there's mutated dinosaurs, but it kind of sucks that we have to mutate them in order for them to be more interesting. Sure, it makes sense in story, reflective of life. People get bored of the wonderful very quickly and need something new. And Gareth Edwards basically just conceptualized weird dinosaurs and beautiful monsters like Godzilla or Monsters. This isn't a huge negative, but the long necks tail when they're like they're not purring. I just purred for some reason, but they're basically like mating, but they're not fucking. They're just like hugging each other, but it looks like they're getting down without actual insertion. It was a bit long. It was a bit long. Wow. And the tails, like it looked kind of cool, but it also looked kind of silly. I don't know. It's beautiful, but kind of weird to look at. Overall, I'm glad to have seen it in theaters. I think it's my third favorite Jurassic behind the original and Lost World. I may even like it more than the first Jurassic World because I rewatched all of them in preparation for this film. And the first Jurassic World, the action scenes are cool, but I didn't love it as much as I remembered, and I just didn't love the new trilogy that much. I just didn't. The action scenes are cool, specifically when that secretary lady gets picked up by the flying velociraptors. I don't know my dinosaurs. I'm not a dinosaurologist, but they're flying and they toss around the girl, and then one of them catches, and she's like, ah, ah, and then the fucking whale dinosaur came up and ate her. That was cool. But yeah, I might like this more than the first Jurassic World. So if you really love Jurassic World, don't listen to me. You're probably not going to like this movie. Again, the pacing is way different compared to the first three Jurassic Worlds. It's definitely more paced like the first Jurassic Park. But even so, the dinosaurs are running in those Jurassic Parks. They're not running in this Jurassic World. One swims very fast, though. I see why other people didn't like it. It's slow-paced and lack of action, but I dug it. And ScarJo was a badass, specifically in the clip scene. And guess what, guys? I'm going to give it a large popcorn. I'm sorry. I'm doing it. I'm giving it a large. It feels weird to give it a large, but it was super cool. And like, I was like, wow, this is a fucking good scene. If I'm doing that constantly, I constantly went over to Roxy and was like, whoa, that was pretty cool. Like, if I do that a lot, that's a good thing. Or a medium with butter. I don't know. It just, a large seems too large, but let's just say I already said large. So we're locking it in. Do I need a sequel? Absolutely not. This will do for now. You can check out, I believe, Jurassic Park 1 and 2 and 3 are on Peacock. Jurassic World 1 is on Tubi. And Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and Dominion are on Peacock. Basically, they're on Peacock or Tubi. Check this one out in theaters and let me know what you think. Before we talk about what's coming out next week, let's check the comments. Love you too, said Jordan. I love you, buddy. And Scarlett Johansson won me over. Same. If it wasn't for Scarlett Johansson, I would not have seen the next film. By the way, I had reported that Mahershala Ali looks like he's barely in it and that he's going to die in the first half of the film. I won't tell you whether or not he dies, but I will tell you he's in this movie a bit more than I thought he was going to be, which was a happy surprise. I still think they could have used him more, but it wasn't like, wow, how you all going to do Mahershala like this? I mean, a little bit. Mahershala, but then again, Mahershala doesn't really lead in like everything he does But when you watch a show like True Detective, you're like, yo, if he's in the next Jurassic, he needs to be a main character. And he's a main character, but he's not the main character. Still really good in it, though. ScarJo is very good in it as well. Badass. All right. So, Tony, or Poppy, what's coming out next week? I don't know what to watch this week. Poppy, what do I watch this week?
I'll tell you what you gotta watch.
What's that in the sky? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No. Is it Superman? Mayhaps it might be another white man in the sky. Sure, he's an alien, but everyone knows about that man in the red trucks. We're getting another Superman, folks. The DCU is officially done. And now we're anew. Sure, we already technically started it with Peacemaker and with what's that show called? Damn it. The Monsters. Fuck. Damn it. I don't even know how to look this up. James Gunn animated series Monsters. Creature Commandos. Sure, technically, we already started the DCU with Creature Commandos officially, but we haven't had the first film installment. Feast your eyes on the Superman. Just like the first Zack Snyder DC animated just like the Snyderverse of DCU, we're starting off with Superman. Sure, it's called Superman instead of something cool like Man of Steel, but hopefully it'll be very good. This is the part where I tell you popping or not. In James Gunn, I trust. I do not love Superman. I was going to watch all the Supermans, and maybe I still will, in preparation of watching this film and like rating it for you guys next week. But I got to tell you, God, that first movie, I finished it, but it was hard for me to finish. Watching that beginning, it's so boring. It's obvious that they made it like extensive because they got Marlon Brando and they're like, yo, we paid Marlon Brando $20 million. Even though he's supposed to only be in like 6 minutes of this, we need to drag it on. And boy, does it drag on. Also, it's an older movie, so I'm a youngster, but I didn't love the movie. It was all right. And Man of Steel, I thoroughly enjoyed. And I really liked Superman Returns, but I've never been like yeah, Superman, let's do it. Kryptonite. I'm not that big of a fan, but I do like James Gunn. I watched some of a trailer, and by some, I mean like, what's that? Oh, shit. And I don't like the CGI flying that I'm seeing. And I did see a scene where he stood up and yelled at Lois, and it was a bit jarring. But I think it will be popping. I know no matter how good the movie's going to be, everyone's going to hate it, no matter what. But I think I'll enjoy it. I know I'm going to trust it. Even if I dislike the movie, I'm going to be like, you know what? James is going to learn his lesson, and whatever's next shall be better. So I believe it'll be popping. Let's find out. Are you going to go to theaters to watch the new Superman? Why not? Comment below. Also in theaters are movies that I'm not going to see, but maybe you're interested in. This one sounds cool. I hope it streams soon. Unless I have a lot of downtime, I don't think I'll be seeing this, but I still want to. Abraham's Boys. Max and Rudy Van Helsing confront the terrifying legacy of their father's history with Dracula. That's right. This movie stars Van Helsing's kids. And I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't read any more about it. I was already sold. I love the cover. And I think that it sounds interesting. I like these little like Dracula like spin-offs where they're not like actually about Dracula. Like The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which is basically a chapter from Bram Stoker's Dracula. I thought that was a cool idea, and I thought the movie was decent. But this sounds pretty cool too. This is in select theaters Thursday.
There you are. We were worried sick.
Don't yell at me. Also in select theaters is Skill House. This looks bad, but it also looks fun. And I wouldn't be surprised if they make a second one. 10 influencers are lured into a content house and forced to compete in social media challenges. Because in Skill House, clout isn't just currency, it's survival. This co-stars Neil McDonough and Fiddy. Whoop, not Medea. Fiddy Cent. 50 Cent's in this. You've probably all seen a weird indie 20-second trailer for this that looks like it's a streaming movie for Tubi, and it looks poorly made, but it's basically Saw, but for influencers. Why not? I'm down. But I will not go to theaters to watch this. No, sir. I'll probably wait till October, or if it streams sooner, which it might. But you can check it out in select theaters Thursday. And for streaming wise, there's one choice and one choice alone: Medea's Destination Wedding. Medea packs her floral dresses and a whole lot of chaos when the Simmons family heads to the Bahamas for her grandniece's Reese's Pieces whirlwind wedding. You can check us out on Netflix Friday. Honestly, kind of looks funny. I'm not a big Medea fan, and as you guys know, because Tyler Perry comes out with a new fucking movie every month that he writes and directs, I like even numbered movies, and I have a problem with the odd numbered movies. But this movie looks funny. The only Medea movie that I truly loved was Diary of a Mad Black Woman. This looks pretty fun, though. TV-wise, Dexter has risen. Again! Dexter Resurrection, the third Dexter series, the fourth Dexter series, where he returns from the fucking dead. And Paramount Plus Fridays, it's going to be on Paramount Plus this weekend, starting Friday, and it will air on Showtime Sundays, and following that, you will only be able to watch new episodes on Paramount Plus Sundays. I'm down. I'm already all caught up with Dexter. I didn't watch a trailer for this. I just saw that they have a lot of big stars this season. I think it's a bad idea to keep going with the show. I liked the Up North one. I don't know, but we'll see. I trust you, Michael C. Hall. I trust you. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Returns when? Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So basically, new episodes will be on FXX Wednesdays at 9 p.m. And then it will be available on Hulu the next day. So streaming-wise, you can watch new episodes on Thursdays with a 2-episode premiere this week. It'll pop. By the way, the first episode will be the the cross episode of Abbott Elementary. So Abbott Elementary had a crossover episode featuring Abbott Elementary gang and Always Sunny gang, but it was more from Abbott's perspective. This is the same episode, but from the gang that we know's perspective. I'm excited because it'll be a lot more R-rated, I'm sure. Very, very excited. Also returning to television is Foundation on Apple TV Plus Fridays. So I never watched this show, but I've always seen like a big following for it. So I'm very interested, although it seems really fucking complicated. My friend Blaze told me about this a lot. He goes, yeah, I've watched some of it. And then he described the whole series to me. I'm like, so you watched all of it? He goes, yes, it's very good. I like it. I'm like, all right, there's nothing wrong with liking it, dude. A complex saga of humans scattered on planets throughout the galaxy, all living under the rule of the Galactic Empire. What? Is this Star Wars? Dr. Hari Seldon and his loyal followers attempt to preserve their culture as the galaxy collapses around them. I don't know. It still sounds kind of cool. It does sound very Star Wars-y. But it also looks... Damn it, I always forget this word. Procedural. It looks like Sci-Fi Channel procedural, but I've heard good things. Season premiere of Season 3 Friday. New episodes Friday on Apple TV Plus. And finally, I don't think I'll watch this show, but I have to give out a shout out because I thoroughly enjoyed Lena Dunham's Girls, which you can watch on HBO. I thought it was interesting. It was interesting writing. It's hard to watch because you hate everyone. I hated every character on that show, but I really did enjoy the writing. This is called Too Much. After a breakup, New York workaholic Jessica moves to London planning on being alone. She meets Felix, who causes her to reconsider finding love again. This is on Netflix Thursday. I don't know if I'll like it. I watched the trailer and I'm like, I don't know. This just looks like Lena Dunham's character from Girls moving to England. That basically looks like that's what it is. And I don't know. The co-star, I think his name is Will Sharp. He is an excellent writer director, and he was also in White Lotus season 2 playing Aubrey Plaza's boyfriend. Really good actor. I'm interested in this show because he's a good actor, but I don't think I'll like him or anyone in this show. I don't know. So I'm a little wary of this. Basically, what I'm telling you is you watch this show and let me know how it is, so I don't have to. And that's it. Not much going on next week except for Superman, which you can see in theaters. That's basically probably all I'm going to... And Medea's Destination Wedding on Netflix, Dexter Resurrection on Paramount Plus, and Always Sunny on Hulu. That's basically what we're going to talk about next week. And hopefully looking forward to the DCU for next year. Maybe I will rate the top 5 or something of the old DCU. I don't want to rate all of the Snyderverse because I think that'll take too long. And I don't know how many people are interested in that. Let me know if you are. But I think we should talk some DC stuff next week. And we haven't done it. We did Brad Pitt as a topic last week. We didn't do a topic this week, but we'll do a topic next week. Let me know what you're interested in. I know Edna mentioned 80s movies, but I'm waiting for more of like an 80s movie vibe to come out first before I do that as a topic. What other topics are you interested in? What movies haven't you seen? Have you agreed with my ratings? If not, tell me why you haven't. Did you like and did you subscribe? If you didn't, you should, you bastard. If not, tell me why you didn't. In either case, let's see. Jordan says, that's how my son got his name. So excited. How is Blaze doing? Blaze is doing good. He's having a kid. He's having a daughter due this month. And I have to be him while he's on paternity. So I'm pissed off. I'm very excited for the kid, but I'm not excited to be Blaze at Carmela Foods. Too Much is so good. The writing's great. I watched for the writing. Too Much is out already? Let me see. Is Jordan lying? Is this out yet? I think you're lying, you son of a bitch. July 10th. This ain't out yet. What are you talking about? Or did you mean Girls is so good? The writing is great. I watched for the writing. Yeah, I think we're talking about Girls. Girls, yeah, the writing was great. Jordan, I didn't realize how much fucking TV you watch. You need to get a life, bro. Look at you. Dexter is my son's name. Yeah, you were lying, you son of a bitch. Yeah, I did know that, you son of a bitch. And Dexter, I did know was your son's name. I think that's a pretty cool name. But dude, maybe don't tell people that you named your son after a serial killer that was trained by his father on how to be a serial killer. You'll implicate yourself. Yeah, girls. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate you all. I'm done editing a short film, y'all. So that's exciting. Working 2 jobs would make me watch TV all the time too. I was joking. I know you have a life, buddy. The short film is done. I'm going to submit it to festivals first, but if everything goes the way I plan it to go, you will see it online, probably YouTube, Christmas. I'm pretty excited. It looks pretty good. Yeah. What else? Oh, going to start working on the Spooktacular because I think this season of Popcorn Poppin' is going to end in October because I want to work on other things. I am kind of tired of watching movies and television. I'm not really tired of it. I'll always watch a bunch of movies and TV, but this show requires a lot of time, specifically with making clips, and I don't only want to review stuff. So, booyakasha. I'll see you guys next week.